Hey everybody, it's Andy. Welcome to my Careers and Coffee Tuesday morning show where we talk about, you guessed it, careers. Great to have you. Great to have you. Hang on, my screen's going haywire. Hey. Hope everybody's doing great this morning. Love to be here in this time slot. It actually, now that we did this the last couple weeks at 7 a.m., it actually gives me a chance to sleep in a little bit. Believe it or not, because I don't even try to do all my exercises and all my crazy stuff in the morning. I just get to get up, have some coffee in bed with my wife and my dogs, and then the first thing I actually get to do is serve you, which is awesome. Awesome. So get in, say hi, let me know where you're from, let me know what you need. I'm going to reference the video that I released this morning called The Fastest Way to Successfully Change Careers. I want to talk for a few minutes about that, really about a little more about mindset as it relates to changing careers, and also really just about anything in your life, kind of how I think about these changes that we can make. So get in, say hi. Everything looks pretty good. Good morning to you. If you are in my programs, let me know. Give me a hashtag and your program. Let me know where you're from and let me know what you need. And if I said that already, forgive me because I'm not used to talking this early in the morning. All right, so the video, the intent of my little Tuesday morning shows, talk a little bit about the video that I just released. This morning's was a lot longer than last week's. Last week's was only 3 minutes and 11 seconds. Today, I think it was about 20 minutes. So I don't know if everybody had a chance to actually watch it. But I do want, and if you didn't, that's totally okay. I talked about how I've made a couple of career changes in my life. I went from information technology executive, where I was in the IT consulting space, and I changed to become an executive recruiter. I also changed from becoming an executive recruiter and a search firm owner, ultimately, to becoming a career coach and a trainer, and spending more time with doing my blogging, my vlogging, my book writing, and those kinds of things. But for a lot of you who are in corporations, who are going to remain in corporations, who enjoy working with corporations, but want to do something a little bit differently, career changes don't have to be drastic. They don't have to happen overnight, although they can, depending on your situation. But I was really trying to draw your attention to the fact that there are 3 really smart ways to make what are a little bit more, or can be considered a little bit more, incremental changes. So if you can change roles inside your company, or if you can change, perhaps keep your market or your solution line intact, but perhaps change companies, or if you can really leverage people that you used to work with to make that change. And what I hope a lot of you understand is what's really important, although we don't always think this at the time, but your trajectory in life is far more important than where you are at any one moment. Any one moment is fleeting. Any one moment can be positive. It could be negative. But more than anything, where you end up in your life, in your career, has a lot more to do with what you do each day and the trajectory that you're on. So you are far better off taking that first step to get in motion toward where you want to be, and spending time each day in your calendar somewhere, carving that time out to grow those skills, meet more people that can help and influence your ability to get to where you want to go. But that trajectory matters more. And when I broke down, I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into my changes. They're in the video. The video is all about the how-to. But the one thing that you might notice is, although I went from an information technology executive to a search firm owner and a recruiter, the change I needed to make, even though that change sounded drastic, was rather incremental. I only needed to learn a small portion of what I was about to do in my new venture. And the difference between that and, as I wanted to go from an executive recruiter, a business-to-business consultant, and a search services provider to organizations, to become a trainer and a coach to you all, and to coach individuals, there were about 100 incremental steps that I needed to take over 4 years. But the trajectory that I was on is I was always honing skills, building things that I could circulate, sell, and so forth, and grow them over time incrementally, so that on any given day it was almost imperceptible, unnoticeable of what the change was. But as you accumulate these changes over time, you will achieve a lot. And that's a big part about a career change. It does not have to happen overnight. So there are a lot of ways to skin it. There's a lot of different things that you can do to get yourself on those paths. But I would focus more on what am I doing day in and day out to make the changes that I want to make to work toward what it is that I want to work toward. So think about that. And the same thing goes for, I know a lot of you know I'm going to be having a goal setting masterclass that you can attend, a product that I'm going to build that I'm going to sell, but that you can attend for free as we go through this. And a big part of that is if you want to achieve anything in life, the day in and day out matters. For those of you that have read Out of Reach but in Sight, my goals, motivational goals book, I talk about those processes and systems that you build that will change your habits and change the things that you do day in and day out. It's the same kind of thing with the career change. So I hope you get that from the video. I hope if you haven't seen the video that you take time to watch it, but I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a subject I love speaking about. I've done it twice. I've got a lot of experience with it, but I know how daunting it can be, and I know how nervous it can make people who really want that change. But I guess my best piece of advice is don't try to get it all at once. Just those incremental changes. Get on the trajectory you want to get on, and just keep working toward it, and it will happen. It will happen. All right, I believe that's everything I wanted to say on that. I want to get to your questions right now. I guess one thing I do want to say, because I mentioned the goal setting masterclass, Kara and I, we had a scheduling issue. We thought we were going to do the sessions on August 20th, 21st, and 22nd, but we have something we cannot move. It came up a little bit more recently, and it's not something that we can move. So we needed to move the dates that we're going to conduct that to September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Kara, I believe that's September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of the Labor Day week. Just confirm that if you can. So let's see. Let me go to the chat. John Bailey, hey, good morning to you. Adam Stark, hey to you. Adam Stark's got a question, and I think this is a pretty good one. I think I caught this one as fully loaded again. French roast today. When we were at 6:59 and 30 seconds, I had to get up because I realized I only had a half cup and I needed a little bit more. Oh, I'm wearing my Gordy's. Can you see this? My Gordy's shirt. I got this from at Gordy's in Lake Geneva. My wife and I had a date Thursday. That's why live office hours was pushed to Wednesday last week. I want to give Gordy's a shout out, and Cassie, the manager in Gordy's, said if anybody needs, they got a lot of cool beachwear and stuff and t-shirts and all that good stuff. GordysGear.com, or you can call there and ask for the manager, Cassie, and tell her Andy sent you. But kind of fun for all you folks in Wisconsin. It's a great little joint. Well, it's not so little, but a lot of fun. All right, Adam Stark. I'm unfamiliar with all the types of work cultures, environments, as I've only freelanced and worked typical retail jobs. Any advice to figure out the different types and which would suit my needs? So, Adam, here's what I would say to you and anybody else, and it does not matter where you've worked. You've obviously worked. Culture is more about who you are. So, yes, there is a corporate culture, and no two cultures are the same. No two environments are the same. Companies, corporations, they could do the same thing. They could produce the same products. They could offer the same services. And no two will be exactly alike. It's just like you. They're unique as your thumbprints or your fingerprints. So what I would suggest to you, and actually anyone else, culture is made up of a number of different behaviors that the corporation tries to get consistent among its people, an operating rhythm, so to speak, and ultimately the personality of the organization. The more in line you are and your personality is with the personality of the organization, the better the cultural fit you will have. The less adapting that you'll have to do, which is a good thing. Don't think being super flexible is a positive. In fact, you are far better off trying to align your personality to the personality of the organization, because the less adapting you have to do on a daily basis, the less stress you will be under, the less energy you will exude, and the less thinking you have to do, and it's all good that you are more in alignment. The best way to figure out if you're going to enjoy the culture is to identify the types of things that you enjoy about operating behavior. So I recognize that you only have so much experience, but does the culture move quickly? Are they open and welcoming? Are they friendly? Do they give people opportunities to grow? And you could list this on and on. You can list it on and on. And if you want a little bit more help understanding what I think the 20 most important or common cultural traits are, there's a couple of places you can go. We have an eBook that I'm sure a lot of you probably are not familiar with, that's on the Mile Walk Academy website. It's called Hire for the Corporate Culture You Want. And in that booklet, it's a paid booklet, but it's not a lot of money. In that booklet, I break down the 20 cultural characteristics, and I also highlight 167, I think it is, questions that employers should ask you to see if you have a particular cultural trait, so that they can ultimately hire right. But what you could do is you could either grab that ebook, or you could get the Hiring Prophecies, my hiring book, and I've outlined the 20 traits in the Hiring Prophecies. I haven't gone into all the interviewing questions that I would ask on every single characteristic, but it might get you more familiar with the areas that you ought to investigate. And I know this is like the third week in a row I'm going to mention this to you. That video on how to choose the right job, I show you how to set up the requirements. I know you've watched it because you referred to it. In that listing, in the culture section, you should have what those adjectives are, and then you want to investigate them. So you want to ask questions about whether the organization is like that, or get them talking about how the organization is that. So that's what I would do. You don't have a ton of corporate experience to draw on. I know it's more of a retail type, or retail positions that you've had, but still, those aids that I just cited would really help. So I would try that. Akshay, how you doing? Hello, Andy. How are you? Hope you're well. How was your run today? Actually, I'm going to do that a little later today. Going to pile up some miles. Had a question in your cover letter template. When there is an opening, you have said, based on my research, I would like to join your company. Insert your rationale. Could you please give an example of rationale? Thank you as always. Very grateful. You are welcome, and I will give you an example. So I have some different templates that are out there that you can get in the public domain. And in one of them or two of them that you have, I probably, these would be like the 7-sentence cover letter where there's no job opening, or a boss hunting cover letter where you don't know if there's a job opening. If you are not sure what I'm speaking about, all you need to do is go to my channel and search for what I just said, and you will come up with some videos that will have some download boxes where you can grab these templates. And by the way, I never say, I don't know that I've ever said this, but we get questions from people on whether it's YouTube or the Mile Walk Academy or whatever. You click the thing, a pop-up box comes, you put your name in there, and then what happens is if you're with me and you're a first timer, we send you 2 emails. One is a welcome email to my community, and the second one is a separate email that gives you the gift, whatever it is. So you click the download button and it downloads it to your computer. 2 emails. If you've been with me for a while and you're in our system and you're getting my weekly email that says, hey, it's Tuesday, I got a new video, and so on, you're just going to get 1 email. It's going to come to you and it's going to have a button in it for you to download whatever it is you requested. But you got to check your junk filter. You got to check your spam folder, whatever it is, to make sure that you're getting the email to actually get the gift. You would not believe how many emails we get a day that say, I never got the gift. And it's because the email's in their junk folder. All right, so to answer your question, so there's a couple of those cover letters. Now, what you're trying to explain when you don't know if there's a job opening, because in a lot of these cover letters, when you know there's a job opening, you're saying right out of the chute, I'd like, the reason I'm inquiring is because I'm interested in this particular position. But in some of the cover letters, you can't say that because you don't know that if there's a position available. So I like to lead off with, the reason I'm inquiring is I've chosen your company because, and then explain your reasons why. So your rationale is your rationale, but it can be things like, I'm very, very interested in you as a leader in your space. I've used your products and I love them. Based on my research, it looks like you are a leader, you're a best place to work, and so on. I've talked to people and they told me how much they love working there. Anything that has caused you to want to reach into them that's attractive to you. So your rationale can be any of those things, but you want to let them know why you reached out to them. In the boss hunting cover letter, same thing goes. One of the early parts of the boss hunting cover letters, I was attracted to your background, or I was attracted to your accomplishments or what you did, which is why I'm reaching out to you. That's the rationale there. So really, anything that you feel is attractive to you can be your rationale. But that's what I was getting at there. Johnny Stevens, hey, Kat Harrison Peterson, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. I just messaged you with my time slot. All right. Evelyn O from New York, my boot camper, how you doing? Kat's a boot camper, Johnny's a leader. I love this stuff. Oh, this is fantastic. Johnny Stevens, I love this one. All right, so Johnny Stevens says, now that I'm settled in my career change, thanks to Andy, I want to help other people. I love that. What is the best way to promote others into open positions both in and out of my company? So, Johnny, one thing that I love doing, and then a lot of this stuff naturally happens, but if you have not seen my business networking video about how to build professional relationships, it's a good tactic for you to not only grow your network, which is important for you to have a healthy one, but it also is a way for you to give out to others. And one of the things that's a big component of networking is, and I know a lot of you are in job search networking mode, which is why we talk a lot about the difference between job search networking and your need for something, which is attaining a job, and how to leverage your network or route yourself into places. But a lot of you should also be just networking on an ongoing basis. And one of the big parts of networking on an ongoing basis and helping others is to expand their network. So, and expanding their network could be pushing them out and introducing them to people so that the chain doesn't die with you, right? So if you're meeting somebody new, you want to try to refer them to somebody else who's new to them as well. That's what exponentially expands their network and one of the things that you can give them. But same goes for people who are looking for opportunities within your organization. So if I would share. I mean, you would be amazed if you put a LinkedIn post out there that says, I'm working at this organization and I love it. And anybody who is considering a career in whatever or working for a company like this and so on, you are welcome to inbox me and let me know how I can help you. You'd be pretty darn popular. People don't think to do stuff like this, but this is an amazing way to grow your network and also help people in the process. And if somebody reaches out to you, they don't necessarily fit your organization, then send them outside the organization to other places that you think that they might be good fits based on companies you know or individuals you know who can help them. Hey, you know what? I looked at your background. I'm happy to circulate this internally, but I don't know that there's a great fit here. But you know what? I have these other friends who work at these types of companies or in your location or whatever. If nothing else, at a minimum, you can get connected to that person and share networks. I mean, it's just, it's something like that is, people just don't think to do this stuff. Imagine if you did that once a week on a Friday, and that was just something you did, something you circulated. That's obviously a way to do it online, and that's a way to help people you don't know. You certainly can do that with people that you do know. I know a lot of people who have new jobs, and what they do right away. So I changed jobs after 10 years at one company. I was at Anderson Consulting. It's now Accenture, and I went to another company, and the company that I went to was 100 people. Same kind of work, different size, obviously. And the first thing that I did when I got there was I started calling all the people that I knew at my other company or clients and everybody that I'd met, and we started pulling people into my new company and referring them in. And, I think I pulled in like 20 people or something like that, 19 or 20 people. And, that was a great way to go. And it's certainly something that you can do, reaching out to your network and being a little recruiter, so to speak. So, those are some things that I think you can do. And, you've been phenomenal on LinkedIn sharing my stuff, which is great. That does help people, right? It gives them assets that they can use. The other thing it does is it gets more eyeballs on your profile, and you likely will get connections. As a matter of fact, I know some of you saw Kathleen Phillips, and if you don't know Kathleen, she's an absolute doll, such a sweetheart. She's a boot camper who got a job recently. She's in my leadership program, and she publicized her success story. She went from 400 connections to well over 1,000 connections on LinkedIn within a matter of a couple of days. And actually, I'm sure she's probably over 2,000 now. But lots and lots of things like that. And now what she was doing is now she in turn was, circulating her network to them. She was sharing my stuff with them and all these people who were reacting and commenting on her post. These are great ways to build up relationships. And think about it. Isn't it way easier to do that than trying to email somebody who you're asking for help, right? So this is great stuff. I would consider that too. But you're great, buddy. Steve G, hey. And Johnny, that's a good point. Your rationale should stem from your research. That's wonderful. DJ, how are ya? Brendan Sweeney, good to see you. John Bailey, hey. Afternoon, Bologna, Italy. I am 100% Italian. And drinking coffee, wonderful. What time is it by you? I'm just zipping through here. Akshay, yeah, I knew you were an international student. I knew you were in Mumbai, and are you? Yeah, you're in New York now. Okay, and you've said that. That's awesome. Anna Goldman, how are you? 1 p.m. Okay, so so you're 6 hours because we're on daylight time, right? So, E-dubs, hey. Oop. Let me see. Just zipping through here. Love to say hi. You guys are awesome. Carrie Freeman, how are you? Don, my boot camper. Julio, my boot camper. Yes, it's always sunny in Portugal. And Julio, I think we're going to get some sun today. Billy Collins, you are awesome, dude. But I'm here. You are a boot camper through and through, my friend. Thank you for that. Well, you guys are really chit-chatting. All right, Andrew LaCivita, I just want to thank you. Steve G, from the bottom of my heart for being... Wait, I want to thank you for you being you. From the bottom of my heart, I have been depressed not finding work, but your positivity always helps put me in a fantastic mood and motivates me. Actually, you know what? Steve, I want to take a picture of that. I want to tell you, you are welcome. And you guys know, if you do not know this, I would be surprised, but I'm guessing a lot of you do know that I have written a lot of lines, quotes, and a number of years ago, back in like 2011, 2012, I started writing daily lines. I call them today's line to live by. And it's copywritten, so I have a little trademark, service mark on it. And we put one out every morning at 7, although today Kara told me she put it out at 8, so we don't collide with our Careers in Coffee. And I got one in my Facebook feed yesterday. In fact, 5 years ago, I published online a quote that said something like, I'm pretty sure this is the exact quote, but the best gift that anybody can give me is to tell me that they are a better person for having met me. So while I know attention is, I think, the greatest gift we can give anybody at any moment in time, the fact that I make you feel better, that to me is, it really keeps me going. And don't minimize the impact that Steve, yours, and everybody else's nice feedback does for me. That, there's a lot of people out there that I've helped that I don't know that I've helped, I've never heard from. That's totally okay. But when you guys close the loop with me, so to speak, or at least let me know how I've helped you, that really helps me and keeps me going. Everybody needs fuel. Now, I'm pretty damn self-driven, but everybody needs it. So I appreciate that. I want to thank you for that. I love it when you guys share it. And, the other thing, too, is the best thing you can do then is pay it forward and introduce other people to me and help them and all that, or however you can. All right, Joe Winter, great to see you. Oink Monster. Joyce. Sam, how are you? Good to see you. Vanessa, how you doing? Yes, you are. Shauna Leeds. Okay, Joe, you didn't tell me if it's luster or lustre. You gotta tell me. For positions out of my region that I'm qualified for, how do I approach employers on LinkedIn about working remotely? Thanks from Pittsburgh. So Joseph, I do not recommend opening up with that. So if you want to reach out to employers, I would make it a multi-step process to determine that. So I would reach out, perhaps use a boss hunting cover letter, or use the techniques I outline in how to get an out-of-state job. And there are also other sites that you can go directly to with remote jobs where the jobs are remote. And there's a number of those out there. All you got to do is Google them. You'll have a whole list. And then what I would do is I would reach out to them about working with them. So if you're in Pittsburgh and you reach out to somebody in Chicago, don't even mention the fact that you are in Pittsburgh and you want to stay in Pittsburgh and you want to work remotely, and see if there's an opportunity to do that. So depending on what it is that you do and the skills that you have and how desired and sought after they are, or how in demand they are, I should say, and a lot of these things can be done, a lot of jobs these days can be done remotely, and some of them cannot. But, sales, marketing, customer service, a lot of these things can be done remotely. So I would get engaged with them and then see if it's a possibility. If they say, are you open to relocating? Say, I would prefer to stay in Pittsburgh, but I want to know if there's a possibility that this job could be remote. We had a woman, Laura, she's 60, and she was in media, and she happens to be in Chicago, got in my boot camp, same kind of thing, and was open to different types of jobs, ended up getting one that was based in New York, and they told her, You don't have to move. You can run it from Chicago. And in fact, not only did she get that job, but then they expanded the scope of her responsibilities to include the entire U.S. And they said to her, hey, stay in Chicago if you'd like, no problem. Can you come visit us maybe a couple times a month, just for some meetings and with your team and that kind of stuff. And it worked out. So I don't know your specific background, but that's how I would go about that. Latin Groove. Hey, Peter Torres, how are you? Cramner 54. Those are some newer names to me. Good morning to you guys. I don't know if you guys are first timers. All you first timers, let me know you're first timer. DJ Thompson. How to respond to the overqualified excuse. DJ, I got a whole video on it. It's a short video. Check that out. Dan C. Hope you're doing well. Hey, I'm wondering how, I don't know if you sent me a message how your interview went on Friday. Let me know. Shauna Leeds, big interview tomorrow. Got interview intervention yesterday. Awesome. Any suggestions on what chapter to concentrate on? Yes, chapters 1 through 11. Okay, wait, all kidding aside, I'm just joking. Okay, so here's a funny. So when I wrote Interview Intervention, okay, little story, then I'm going to give you the specifics. So I wrote Intervention, and before I wrote the book, it was my first book, I always ask myself, before I undertake anything that of this magnitude, undertake it in my life, I always ask myself this question. If my life is the only life that's changed as a result of me doing this, am I good with that? Is that okay with me? And if the answer is yes, then I do it. And if the answer is no, then I don't do it. So in this case, I wanted to write a book, and I thought, I'm preparing candidates every single day I talked interview intervention to every candidate before they went in for a job. So imagine what those prep sessions were like. We'd prep for an hour for a 30-minute phone screen, that kind of stuff. So then I wrote interview intervention, and I thought, well, if the book, when the book gets published, even if nobody buys the book, then I can at least give the ebook to all my job search, my job candidates that we were recruiting, and have them read it. And here's what I would tell them. Read the whole thing. If you don't have time to read the whole thing, read chapters 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you don't have time to read that, read chapters 5, 6, and 7, and 8. If you can't do that, read chapters 5, 6, and 7. If you can't do that, make sure you read chapters 5 and 6. Now, and here's what else I would tell them. So you can loop this back. You can swipe the DVR cursor or record it so you'll know exactly at 7:33 a.m. that's what I said. But here's the thing. If you do that, if you cut the corners and you go to the middle of the book and you read the storytelling chapter and you read the tactics on answering the most popular and effective interviewing questions, you will know what to say, but you will not know why you're saying it. It's kind of like you coming to me saying, I'm feeling sick. I go, hey, take this pill. But you don't know what the pill's going to do. It's going to cure you. You don't know how. But if we need to alter your medication, you're not going to know how to do that by yourself, kind of thing. So that's why I want you to make good decisions, and I want you to develop the right kind of questions to ask. If you skip some of the early stuff, you're not going to be able to do that. So if you are pressed for time and you can only do a little, chapters 5, 6, and 7, that's what I would do. Michael McDevitt, I got your second text this morning. I will call you when we hang up, but I'm going to need to pour me some coffee. So good. Can everybody wish Michael a good luck on his interview tomorrow? It's a big one, and I will call you for a 5-minute prep talk. Okay. Steve G. Hey, Annie, my first computer was a Commodore 64, and I've built my own PC since age 15, considered starting an IT consulting company. I don't know why you didn't. Do you have any suggestions for me? I would figure out a way to get an entry-level IT job. And I believe that you can do it. If you are that inclined, and you are also, I believe, investing in yourself and taking some training to do that. But my suggestion would be, go get your training, polish up your resume. I have a video out there on how career changers can create their new brand. I would watch that. I would do that, because that will start. Remember, it says right here, increments. Okay, what trajectory are you putting yourself on? And that's what you need to start doing. And then I would be searching for entry-level jobs in IT. I believe you've got a customer service, a professional background. But dude, this is how I think. Like, you know customer service, right? You do all that stuff. Can you not be an IT support person internally for a corporation, help desk support and those kinds of things? That's how my brain works. Actually, other ways my brain works. When I give you guys talks, you see this card? I don't script anything. So I just have little pieces, and then I call them like they're in like little memory hotels in my head, and I say, boom, 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 I got to tell them this. That's how I do that. So for all of you that have to give a presentation, that's the best way to do it. All right, Brendan Sweeney, I am U.S. structural engineer trying to find work in the UK or Ireland. How do I ease their minds that I can deal with the change in building codes? Brendan, while I am not a cross borders expert, I'm guessing that there is some institution, whatever they're called, and I'm guessing all the UK friends in here could help you with this. I would figure out what that is. I would figure out how to get access to it. I would start studying it. I would mention in my cover letters and in my emails and in my LinkedIn messages and all that good stuff that I am becoming familiar with the analogies and the codes and all of that good stuff. And it's what are you doing to prepare? So that's what I would do. And hey, I'm moving, or I'm trying to work. We're moving. I don't know if you're because of family reasons or whatever, or so that's what I would do. Omatara, welcome to the Bootcamp, my friend. Great to have you. I know you Warren Coyle, great to see you. Hope Mama Coyle enjoyed the session on Friday. Glad she could make it. That was just awesome. Wait, plug for the Bootcamp. Can I say this? We got another session this Friday. If you missed the special on two things. I'm not going to go tell you the boot camp this morning, but we got another session on Friday. If you want to get in the boot camp and you want to get the promotion we just offered, because that's now gone, email me at support@milewalk.com and we will give you a price break. If you love my stuff and you cannot afford the boot camp, but you love my stuff and you want some more detailed coaching around resume writing and interviewing, email us at support@milewalk.com. We've got a super budget package that we can give you privately that is awesome. And it's awesome. Email us at support@milewalk.com. Ask Kara for the package. We're creating this and we want to, when the session ends on Friday in the boot camp, the next week or two, we want to try to offer this to the public for those that just couldn't swing because we get lots of emails that people just can't afford the boot camp. It's totally okay. So we're designing a package for you that is a lot less money and a lot of really good stuff. So support@milewalk.com. And Kara's like, oh crap, now I'm gonna have to put that together. But she's quick on her feet. Brandon, hey. Jenny Hinkle, hey. Ice Caught Van, hey. Is it Aiden? How are you? Hi, Andy. What should I say on a LinkedIn profile if I quit the job and looking for another? Should I change my current position? So mixed thoughts here. And first thing is, I wouldn't stress too much about this. No one is going to beat you up if your LinkedIn profile says, 2015 to present, and then you send a message and then they get you in for a job interview and you say, hey, I recently left my job. That's okay. We don't really care. I didn't update my LinkedIn profile. It's totally okay. Recruiters get it. Nobody gets hell bent out of shape. If you feel as though you want to end it, I ended it February 2019 or March or April, whatever, you can do that. I don't have a problem with that either. One thing I would not do is, I'm okay you go either way, okay? You don't become any more attractive or less attractive to me if that's the case. Although some employers say that, it's just not my thing. What I would not do, what I would recommend none of you do, is do not put looking for new opportunities in your headline or open for new positions or any of that stuff. The reason you don't want to do that is one of the most prime pieces of real estate on your LinkedIn profile, and it's one of the most important items for the search engine. So when recruiters are out there looking for people and they're typing in project manager, account executive, and other things of that nature, or people with these skills, your title is not helping you because no one searches in LinkedIn for, I'm looking for people who are open to new opportunities. So you're wasting that real estate. It's not a good thing to do. So take that, not that you're doing that, but for any of you that have that, remove it. The other thing is if you do come up in the search results, then what happens is as I'm screaming down the page, the first thing I see is your picture. The next thing I see next to it is open for new opportunities. I would be generally more inclined. Most people are generally more inclined to look at the people who don't have that. In fact, so just be careful. I wouldn't do it. You can always if you are actually open to new opportunities and you are that open about it, you've got that recruiter box you can check and let the recruiters know that. All right. Peter Torres, I can understand the incremental philosophy, but wonder about the length of time. 4 years seems like a longer time than what a person may have given financial factors and otherwise. Just wondering. Well, so Peter, I spent 4 years changing this second time. I could have just shut my recruitment firm down and went all in and maybe gotten there a bit faster. However, a number of the things that I had to build and the community that I had to create in order to engage with you so that you could become familiar with me and all these other things for the career I chose, even if I shut everything down, there is a balance between how fast will people find me, how fast will I figure it out, how fast will I be able to get return on my daily investment. And so I chose to do that. Now, some people, you could pick how you want to become a product development owner and you're a business analyst. Well, your change doesn't have to be right to a product development owner where you're having difficulty trying to change overnight because you don't understand what it's like to maintain a product and interact with vendors and all these other integrators and all these other things that you might have to do for, say, a software product. But could you go from a business analyst to a project manager to a, you know what I mean? Like there's incremental steps. So this might take 4 years, but you get on a trajectory that gets you there. You're still getting paid. You know what I mean? So if you gave me the I'm starting here and I want to get here, I could give you a better route if you want. But I was willing to put the time in because I feel like when you think in the long term, you make better short-term decisions. And if you can focus on your end goal, you will make better. If you will focus on building a system that will ultimately get you to where you want to go, you're gonna be less likely to fall off the track. So that's my thoughts on that. And I decided it was worth it to keep my recruitment firm open and continue to generate revenue and then learn incrementally about all these things I had to learn to become a trainer. And that's the route that I wanted to take. Now, somebody who's, didn't want to do that, that's okay too. Vlad, hey, Andy, what is the best way to follow up if you get little response after sending letters? So what I like to do is if I send a boss hunting, since you use that one, if I send a boss hunting letter, I like to send them via email. That's my preference for a number of reasons. Because email to me is more effective. Getting directly in somebody's inbox is more effective. I could easily find their name, their email address, and so on. I can use Read Notify to track whether they opened it, what they did with it. All that data is going to help me determine how I want to follow up. That's the first route I take. I watch what's happening, and then I give them 7 days. If they have opened my email and they are 7 days later, then what I might do is now I know they opened it. So I might go back at them via email. If I didn't have that tracking or they did not open the email, I might send them a LinkedIn InMail 7 days later, and so on. So I do things like that. I generally like to email people nowadays. I didn't used to like to do that in 2004. I never emailed anybody. I just picked up the phone and called them, and as a recruiter in 2005. And LinkedIn started to become more and more popular. And you got to remember, in 2005, there was nobody on LinkedIn still. So we didn't have those abilities. So I would call people. But today, that's not the way the world works. So I would email them. I would use LinkedIn. If you like LinkedIn and you like to send the messages via LinkedIn, that's okay. But now you're not going to know if they opened them. You're not going to know what happened. And then what I would do is I would email them 7 days later. Hey, I tried to reach out to you via LinkedIn, so I thought I might send you an email. We do that when we recruit people. So, and we notice, like, we'll send somebody a LinkedIn message, they won't respond, and 7 days later we'll send them an email and they respond within minutes. Didn't get your LinkedIn email or whatever. So I would do that. Dan C, 1 of 3, had a great phone interview for the director position. The next step would be to have an on-site visit to meet the hiring manager. Awesome. Thanks to my prep work, I had learned enough about the role to know I did not want to pursue it. Oh, okay. Do you have any advice for turning down a position but leaving the door open? Yes. Call them. Do not, Dan, repeat, do not email that. Call them and say, I loved the session. You need to say these things, okay? Like in this sequence. I love the individual. I love the company, right? I just recognize that this particular position is probably not for me because. That word needs to be in there, because. And then you list out what it is. But, that's next, but I want you to know I'm very interested in your company and would love to speak with you about any other opportunities that you feel are more aligned to what I just shared. Because after the because, you're going to tell them specifically why that's not for you. Get that seat. Well, you could loop it back, 748. You loop that back. That is the exact way to turn down. Kara, you know what? Can you make a notation? Can I get we'll make a video out of that. But so just to recap, I want to discuss the next steps because I want to let you know I love the person. I really love the company as well. I just based on what we discussed about this position, I recognize this is not exactly for me because give the rationale, then say, but I want to make sure that I'm open to discussing other opportunities that you feel might be more in alignment with what I just shared because I really am fond of your company. That's how you leave the door open, okay? So that's what I would do there. Okay, great question. Brian Diesel, love having you on the channel, my friend. Support from DC, I love it. DC analogy here. So, when I was talking about increments and trajectory, okay? If you got in an airplane and you took off from, say, LA, and you were like 1 or 2 couple degrees off on your route, and you were heading to New York, but you were just a couple degrees off, 5 hours later, whatever it is, you'd be in DC. So that's what I'm talking about incremental changes. They're almost imperceptible at any moment in time. But if you are staying on the path, you will get to where you want to go. So that's my DC thing. You guys, I don't know if you guys remember last week, I told you they're trimming the hedges, they're mowing the lawn. I don't know if anybody can hear that, but Ricardo is standing about 10 feet away from me with a chainsaw cutting stuff down. Oh my God. All right. RT, how you doing, buddy? Where you been? Brandon Corbin, 13-year military, last 3 years in college. I used your resume template, have an upcoming interview. You are welcome. Brandon, I'll go you one better. And for all my military vets, I have a booklet that's free. It's called How to Go from Military Veteran to Civilian Professional. It is tailored to help you guys and gals overcome the obstacles you have going out of these military or whatever professions they are inside the government and going to the commercial space. You have built-in challenges that other people do not have. That booklet addresses them. Go grab it. It's on the Mile Walk Academy website. If you go to my blog, in the search bar, type military or veteran, and it will come up. And download it, and it's free. Shy? I guess that's shy. Any advice for a presentation interview, presentation for a business case? I'm trying to think if we did. So that is a pretty big deal. I don't know what the presentation is on. The one thing that I'm going to give you one quick piece of advice, because that is a really wide open question, and I can talk for an hour on that one alone. Whenever anybody who's got to give a presentation, it's best to tell the story in a number of steps, right? Here's what we're addressing. Here's the business problem. Here's why we're doing this. Here's context around what I'm going to tell you. Here's how many steps I'm going to go through. Here's what we do, and here's the benefit of why we're doing it this way. Here's how we do it. Here's some case studies of places that have done it or where I have done it, and so on. All that stuff needs to be in there. One thing you all ought to remember is electronics break, video projectors break, computers break, things can't get turned on. The intranet's not up, it's down for the day. Make sure that when you go and give a presentation, you physically bring hard copies with you in the event that anything goes wrong. So you will look like a genius if that happens and something actually breaks. So just make sure of that. So that's my tip. Oh, sorry, masterclass. Yes, we have a goal-setting masterclass that is a deep dive to the concepts in Out of Reach but Insight, using goals to achieve your impossible. I'm creating a course. I'm offering the creation of the course and your visibility to it for free, September 3, 4, and 5. This, Evelyn, another Andy story. This coffee mug, my wife and I were in a mall once a few years back, and you know how, so it was an outdoor mall, and in the middle of the mall, inside the store, there's the stores on the outside, stores on the inside, and inside the mall, there was a guy sitting there, and he had created these custom-made cups. He only had one like this and another one. My wife and I, we bought the two cups because we thought they were cool, and I like supporting people who do stuff like that. So I love the cup so much, and I love the size, I loved the way it is, how it feels, how easy it is to clean. I went back to the place. I got in touch with the guy, and actually, wait, sorry, I take that back. I got his card. I emailed him, and I said, would you make me an entire set of these cups, an entire set of these cups for my wife, 4 for her, 4 for me, and just, make them so the family goes together, and he did. And so now we have 10 of those. So yeah, it's pretty neat stuff. Again, if the world doesn't fit, you make it fit. If the clothes don't fit, you get them tailored. Okay. Vincent, hey, good morning to you. Brian Diesel, how early before moving should I start looking in for employment for another state? So Brian, I don't think it's ever too early. Okay, now if you know you're going to move at the end of the year, and here we are in August, then yeah, you want to be a little careful, but I would start looking, and I would start making contacts, and I would start investigating, and then as I got closer, I probably would really put the pedal to the metal, say 3 months out, because you don't know how long some of these interview processes are going to take. If you are flexible on your move date, then I would get going right away. So, you know what I mean? Like if you could accelerate your move or decelerate your move, you know, I know that's not an exact number, but there's also many, many factors. I don't know if you have a family, kids are in school, or any of that good stuff, what your support system from a family perspective is like. You know, could you fly back and forth for a short period of time till the house got, you know, packaged up and sold, you know, all that good stuff. So all those things factor into that. All right. Vlad, you said agencies are not the best route for the search. Do you maintain relationship with agents, sending them reminders you are still looking, even if you don't have any updates or monthly checks? You could. Vlad, I don't have a problem with leveraging agencies to help you. I think agencies can be great vehicles to find a new job. I don't want you spending a ton of time chasing agencies when they're not getting back to you, and they likely will not get back to you unless you fit what they are looking for at that moment. So I don't have a problem with, you know, every, you know, so often you're reaching in. You will be amazed too, like people who I have relationships with and job candidates and job seekers, or just people I've met through my professional life that I have relationships with that I haven't talked to in a while, 6 months, could be a year, and then all of a sudden they reach into me right when I'm doing a search. One guy we placed as a salesperson, we had just started a search for a company. They needed a senior account executive. Like, we hadn't even started the search. I think like Karen and I had taken it the day or two before. I'm driving one day to a meeting, and I get my phone rings, and it's the guy who I hadn't talked to in like 4 years. And he's like, Andy, hey, I don't know if you remember me. It's like, yeah, I remember you. It's like, hey, we got this position, and bang, we filled it with him. I mean, like, that stuff happens too. So I don't mind that you're reaching in. I just don't want you to get bent out of shape if they're not getting right back to you. That's all. I just want you to recognize how that stuff works. And Kara did share the hire for the corporate culture. Warren Coyle, 1 of 2, working in the same company. I worked position A for a few years, and 2014 to 16, then 18 to 19, and another department. From 2016 to 2018, instead of having multiple dates, since I have the complete time with the company listed near the company profile, can I just say with exceptions of dates below? You sure can. That's what I would do. You take instruction well. Good going there. Perfect. I hope that chainsaw and the hedge clipper is not too loud. Can you hear that? Oh, he just turned it off. He's hedging now, I think. All right. Now he's banging my window. Can you hear that? John, how are you? DJ, in the recruiting and hiring process, I can't hear. Okay. In the recruiting and hiring process, what do a company mean by you are overqualified? Usually what that, and I think you asked about this, I do have an overqualified video that you guys should watch. All you need to do is search overqualified on my channel. And usually what that means is, you know, you got too many years of experience doing what we're looking for. The position is a lower level. That's usually what it means. But I would check that video out. It'll answer your questions. Portia Pope, hey, from North Carolina. Deepak, how are you? If you got a question, just let me know. I've completed diploma in computer engineering and have 7 years of experience in Linux, but don't have a degree. Will I get a job in any country in this world? You will. You will. Yes, that's my answer. Adam, you're welcome. Steve G. Andy, my first computer. Oh, wait. What am I? Are you guys just repeating this stuff? Julio, it is. You do not. So everybody, everything I do, more or less, unless I say I will not release the recording, is available to you. And also, and because I know you guys are avid people, you come to these. When you get an email that says, hey, here's where I am, or here's my live office hours Thursday, or whatever, and we give you a thumbnail and a link to the page like this, if you miss the session or you want to go back to the session, you just click that thumbnail. It takes you directly to the recording. It's the same URL that we do when we do the live stream, where the recording keeps the URL. So that's the link we have embedded in the thumbnail in your email that I send you. Okay, let's try to get one or two more of these. Hang on, guys. Let me. Sorry, hold on one second. All right, yeah. Yes, John Bailey, Peter Torres. Hang on, guys, just zipping through here. Christy, hey, is that my boot camper, Christy? Bianca, how are you from Romania? Iffy from Nigeria, 123, all right. Salome. Ken Lee, hi, Andy. How would you answer that why we hire you among other candidates? Ken, I don't have my book here. My book's way over there. In Interview Intervention, there is a chapter on, it's my silver bullet interview. Get the book, or get the ebook, or get the audiobook. It is in those questions, and the question is what makes you unique, and then it shows you on the variations of why would we hire you versus anybody else. It's in there. I give you the exact reason why they're asking it, what they're looking for, and how to respond. Ken is in Australia. Chan, I was wondering what the best way to approach a job announcement that seeks X amount of years of experience when you don't have those years. If you are within shouting distance of those years, you go. If it's asking for 10 and you have 7, you go. If you have 6, I'd probably go. If you have 5, I'd probably go. If it's asking for 3 and you have 1, you go. So when in doubt, you go. For sure. Now, there are other things that I could say there about, there's a little more science behind it, but not every job description, so every responsibility or requirement on the job description is not actually a requirement. Look at the job description and consider it to be the company's absolute dream person. And they rarely are going to get their exact dream person. So if you, based on what it is that you do, you are likely to know what the real requirements are, what you could learn on the job and on the fly, and what absolutely is required for the person to have walking in on the first day to be successful in that job. Based on your assessment of that, I would basically, look who's here. Is he Harley? Oh, look, that is his best bed. Oh, wait, there she comes. She's always bringing up the rear. I would make an educated guess, and that to me is how you need to assess whether you are going to apply or not. If you are in doubt, apply. That's all. Hey, wait, Lynn. Yeah. Wait, you want to say hi to the troops? Come on, wait. Can you wish, Lynn? Come on, Lynn. Come on, you gotta wish. Get over here. Come here. Say hi. This is my lovely wife, Lynn. The camera's up here.
Good morning, everyone.
We have lots. No, now she's watching herself because we're on a delay. This is what happens when you don't know how to work the camera. Right?
Oh
okay, right here. Don't worry about that. Worry about this is you. That's them.
Okay.
See how complicated this is?
Good morning.
Wish them luck on their careers and job searches.
Yay. Okay.
Wish them luck.
Good luck.
All right, we'll see you. Gotta go. All right. I know. This stuff's tricky. Okay. That's my wife, Linda with a Y. Hey, we're going to do Andy trivia. Yeah, make sure. That's Harley. I don't know if you can see it. That's Harley, closer to me, and that's Ginger. And that's the bear blankie behind them. So that's going to be in the Andy trivia. I already told you what the first song I knew how to play on the guitar was. So that's in the trivia test too. All right. Peter, first time coffee, Careers in Coffee, great to have you. Brendan Sweeney, first timer too. Denise White, look at that. Bianca, all you first timers, I love it. You know what, can you guys do me a favor and actually just put this in the chat anywhere in the bottom? How did you find me? So, did you see me on Facebook? Did you see me on LinkedIn? Did you see me on YouTube? Where you just, I know you weren't looking for me specifically, but because no one looks for me, they look for their problem, right? I need to write a resume. I need to go to a job interview or whatever. Let me know how you find me. It doesn't need to be elaborate. Just found you on YouTube, searching for whatever. Dan, you're welcome. Luke, everything. Hi, Andy. My workplace has had a few hires not work out recently. Do you have tips for the best questions to understand the applicants? Thanks, first timer. Alice, love it. Okay. Wait, Alice Springs, Australia. I'm not sure if your name is Alice or your name is Luke or Alice Springs is a spot in Australia, but either which way, we're going to answer your question. Okay. If your workplace has had a few hires not work out, do you have tips for the best questions to understand the applicants? I'm assuming you're talking about the hiring process. What I would say is usually when you have applicants that do not work out in this order, this is why things go south. They were not a cultural fit, so you got to assess the culture components. As a matter of fact, that link that Kara put in there, that booklet, will help you, because the first thing that you have to do is you have to define what your culture is, and you have to make sure that all the interviewers are on the same page about how to interview for it. So that's usually problem number one. Somebody is not a cultural fit. Second thing is that you misevaluated their skills, but more likely, you are probably misaligning the role, meaning the role itself was not effectively suited for that candidate. So you were either trying to stretch the candidate too much or ask the candidate to do things, or the employee to do things that the employee was not inclined to do, didn't have the requisite skills, and if the fact matter was that the employee had some skills related to what you wanted them to do, if there's a level of impatience, that can contribute. If there's a level of poor onboarding or anything that does not enable the employee to do the role effectively, is also a big issue. I don't know if you can hear the underlying current of what I am saying, but it's always the employer's fault. Okay, it's always the employer's fault in the assessment if the hires don't work out very quickly. Okay, in the early parts, because that's just a complete misread. If over time something doesn't work out, then it can be either's issue, right? Remember, the employee and the employer are getting married. In order to get married, the marriage isn't, right? Like you got the honeymoon, you're all excited and gaga over each other. It takes a lot of hard work on both parties' sides in order to make that relationship work over time. But if it flames out immediately, it usually is a misevaluation by the employer. Usually, like dare I say, 99% of the time. So I would look at the book. I would get the Hiring Prophecies, which is my hiring book. It's a Gold Award hiring book. Got Best Business Careers and Sales book in 2016. It came out in 2015. But grab that. Oh, Michael, look at all that love you're getting. Let me see. Where's the next question? You are welcome. Shawnee, you're welcome. Yes, Vinica, right? Venisa, ha. It's memory hotels. Yes, that's what I do. Tiffany Sims, should I mention that I was a stay-at-home mom in my cover letter? Sure. Or will that scare employers away? No. So here's what I recommend to people who have left the workforce for whatever reason. In your resume, if you know the Andy LaCivita career profile and what that looks like, I recommend 2 paragraphs. At the end of the second paragraph, Tiffany, I would write, or anybody that has a gap, whatever your rationale is, and that you're returning to the workforce after being a stay-at-home parent between 2015 and 2018 or 19 or whatever, or after returning to workforce after 4 years of being a stay-at-home parent. That's it. That's all you need to explain. Okay, so now why do you have a gap there? Well, I was a stay-at-home parent. Why do you have a gap there? I went and traveled the world. I went and fed my starving children. I went on an excursion. I went, whatever it is, taking care of an ailing parent. Whatever it is, you can just put it right up on the resume. You almost don't even need to put it in the cover letter if you don't want to. You could say that in the cover letter if you feel it's necessary. But if you have it on your resume, they'll figure it out. They're likely going to look at the resume first anyway. Isis, how are you? Yes, you are a leader. Can I leave out in the resume that I'm looking in long-term position and saying in the interview? Can I leave out I'm assuming of the resume that I'm in long-term position? And I'm not sure what you're asking me there. I'm not actually sure what you're asking. So if you just clarify that for me. Or you can go and ask me that in the system if you want to. Aiden, you're welcome. TJ Sims 8. Hi, Andy. Should I list freelance on my resume if that's my only experience? Or does freelance equal unemployment? No. You are TJ Sims, sole proprietor or Inc. or LLC or whatever. And then that's your company name. Then underneath that, performed, you don't need to say, don't use the word freelance. Just say performed web development services, consulting and implementation services for small to medium businesses in the US, internationally, whatever. That's what you did. Sample projects include, and then you can list out, you can use company names if you want, and then what you did. And that's how I would go about it. That's how I'd go about that. But don't use the word freelance. It has bad connotations, even though I know what that means and I can neutralize it, but a lot of people don't that are not hiring every day. GM, do you have any advice to ask for references from people who regularly attend meetings outside of the meeting? I'm not sure what you're asking me there. Kirsty B, my boot camper, how you doing? I had a final interview today, not sure how it went, but please send me some good vibes. The CEO loved your "what big decision did you make?" question. Wait, did you split up here on me? Where'd you go? Dang. Hang on, my hand slipped. Shoot. There we are. What big decision did you make? Okay, sending you good vibes, my dear. Mark Loper, Andy, I keep getting LinkedIn notifications that people are looking at my profile, but no one is contacting me. What does that mean? Mark, it means nothing. You have no idea why they're looking at your profile, and you have no idea why they're passing. Everybody, Mark, you included, do not give one iota of thought to who looked at your LinkedIn profile. Don't even look at that. It makes no difference. I've told this story so many times. When we do searches, we have different Boolean set up. Sometimes we do searches inside LinkedIn. Sometimes we use Google Boolean and do what's called LinkedIn X-ray. And I got all these people I'm looking through, and I might be looking for something very specific. I open a profile, I shut it. I open it, I look at it for 3 seconds, I shut it, I open it. There's nothing wrong with any of those people. They're just not fitting what I'm looking for. I have no idea why somebody's looking at your profile or not. It makes no difference where they're from. It makes no difference. Don't worry about any of that stuff. And you have no idea what's going on in their world. So don't, I can't tell you what that is, but I can tell you I would not lose any sleep or mental thought over that. Christy, when sending boss hunting cover letters, does having an old resume in their database have any impact? No. Todd Lawrence, hey. Paul DeCosta, hey. Vanessa, the hedge clipper is summer love. No, me either. Sean Leroy, any wisdom on LinkedIn looking at companies out of state? Best to connect, reach out to Sean. Check my video on how to get an out-of-state job. Paul, Andy, completed my interview yesterday and your tips worked. I would hope they do. Question is, what if they offer me the job and I can't start at the time they would like me to start? Then you negotiate the date you can start. Companies are a lot more forgiving when they love you, right? So if I extend an offer to you, it means I want you to accept it and I want you to come here. And so if it's a week or two out, I'm not too concerned. If you're way far out, then I would have a question about why you're way far out. And I don't know your particular situation, but you just ask them, hey, I can't start. We have a candidate. She's starting a 3, 4, 5 days later than the company wanted her to start. It's all right. No big deal. They gave her an offer. We just had her scratch out the date, initial it, send it back. So it's not a big deal. RT, doing great, Andy. I'm going back into the job hunt. Should I go through the new formatted Bootcamp series? Yes. RT, if you are re-engaging, I would start at Module 1 again, and I would go through the Bootcamp in sequence and get the extras that I have now since added since the last time you went through it, because I'm constantly adding additional things. So there's specialty stuff within the modules that you want to look at. And then there's also additional coaching sessions in the bottom section. Those are all recorded and packaged. Open those up, look at what the content is for those. There might be some things related, but I would focus on just the teaching portions of the main modules plus the supplemental specialties. By the way, RT, I actually created a video in the system that discusses and shows you how I would go through the stuff. I would actually watch that. It's worth the 10 minutes. It's not a demo of how to use the system. It's how to go through the system. And email us if you got any questions. Steve G, do you believe that a CompTIA A+ certification is still important for landing, having a better chance of getting an entry-level job? I think any certifications are helpful if you have them. What moves you now? Hey, Andy, how do you find the keywords in a job description that is confusing to discern? What I probably would do is I would let JobScan tell me. Use JobScan. All right, buzzing through. Yes, Vanessa, they are with me, and my lovely Linda it's Linda, Lynda. Uzoma, hey. Awaken Mind, hey. Thank you. Pity Pat, hey. It's not Linda. There you go, Linda. You got it. Steve got it. Oh, thank you. We are. You know what? This is about the friendliest damn household ever, and except my dogs are the most loving creatures. Boy dog's a little barky. Girl dog, she's indifferent. But yeah, we are a laugh a minute. Liz Eastlake, hey. Andy, thanks for going over how to keep the door open with an organization. If you love the boss, love the company, but the role may not be a great fit. You are going right through that. I'm sending you good juju, Liz. I really am. I was surprised by your email, and that crap happens sometimes. Pity Pat, first timer, great to see you. Warren found me on the resume tips. Sherry, YouTube. Uzoma, I saw you on LinkedIn. I think you were tagged. Oh, that probably was Kathleen's. Julio found me. Okay, I believe I was researching stuff. Yeah, we always love to know this stuff. Thank you for that. James, hey. James Palmer, hey. Oh, this is a good one. So Vanessa says, I picked up your book at the Toronto Reference Library in the career stacks. The rest is, yep, thank you. And you've been a great supporter ever since. My boot camper, we just love having you. Yes, Christy, thank you for that. Kathy, how are you? First timer live, but been watching you for 4 months, and I don't recall how I found you. You are so encouraging and positive. Thank you. You are welcome. A big part of helping is being positive and encouraging, but genuinely positive and encouraging. Laura D, hey, searching for a career change. I think YouTube. Bianca, changing careers and in the self-learning process, very insecure before I found your channel regarding your resume. Such great advice. Thank you for that. I love to hear it. Neuroadequate, I found Andy because my boss asked me to watch his videos. We're a vendor for our state's vocational rep. Awesome. Enola, hey, found me on YouTube. Tell me about yourself. Yeah, that's a popular one. Write a resume. Anna, hey. Steve Sicard, ha. Colleague recommended you. Paul, first timer live. Awesome. Renmark, Andy, been following you since moved back to America. Awesome. Just completed a 12-week internship. Awesome. 5-second resume. Yeah, that one. Renmark star. Peter Torres, LinkedIn. Okay, so LinkedIn is, Barbara, hey, first timer live. Man, can we give you guys all first timer love? I mean, that's awesome. And old timer love too. Just buzzing through looking for the question. LinkedIn name, found you on YouTube, Barbara. Bianca, 5-second. Yeah, that's a. So wait, can I? Because a lot of you find me because that 5-second resume thing. Don't. So when I say how to get your resume noticed in 5 seconds, or that people decide in 6 seconds, they don't. No one can possibly do that in 6 seconds. What they're doing is you are getting those first few seconds to make an impression on the person who's reviewing it. And what they're trying to determine is, does this look like the right profile that I need to spend more time with? So no one just works on a resume and looks at it for 6 seconds. That's the portion you have to make the impression. And what you need to be able to do in those first few seconds is say, oh, my God, this is somebody I got to talk to. This is somebody that's got it going on. I need to invest some time in looking at this. That's the important thing about that video. It's not that, hiring officials and recruiters and HR people are all a bunch of idiots and don't want to spend the time. They a lot of times have so many resumes that they're looking through that they can only afford to spend a few seconds, and then they kind of put you in the good pile, the I'm not sure pile, or the definitely out pile. That's what they're doing. Cheryl, hey Andrew, how are things? Can you tell me if the recruiter has done her part and says the district manager will contact me? Is that it for the communication with her? No, you should be. I'm assuming. Oh wait, I'm not sure if that's a third-party recruiter or a corporate recruiter, but regardless of which one that is, that recruiter should be with you every step of the way. Every step of the way. So no, you need, if it's an external recruiter, you need to keep in touch with her. If it's a corporate recruiter, you need to keep in touch with her. Charlene Crocker, first time live watcher. Good, great to have you. I use your technique on not saying what my requested salary is. He asked me multiple times, but I held my ground and he laughed. I'm hoping this is a good sign. It is. And Mom LaCivita, I think that was Mom LaCivita. So that could be a trivia question. Amelia LaCivita, love you too, Mom. That's Mom LaCivita. Now you met Linda LaCivita. That's Harley and Ginger LaCivita. Oh my God. Love, 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 love. Shy, hey, Vanessa, I owe you one right since that Venica face. Ha, you do! All right, Evelyn O. Wait, what happened? Tim, you got the book? Awesome. Oh, for any of you that do not have the Interview Intervention book, I have paid to have it manufactured for you. It's in a warehouse. Actually, coincidentally, the warehouse is like 25 minutes from my house. And that's just that's the place that a lot of the most popular authors use to stash their books. It's ridiculous, but it happens to be 25 minutes from my house. They're all there. When you order Interview Intervention, you pay $7 so that I can get the guys in the warehouse to pick it. The envelopes cost money, and the postage is really expensive if you live outside the U.S. It's like, $25 to send it wherever, and it's $16 to send it to Canada, and it's $30 to send it to Australia. So I pay for all that. But you chip in $7. That's just what I thought I would charge. And you get the ebook and the audiobook right away. You also get an ebook called How to Interview the Employer, 75 Great Questions to Ask Before You Take a Job. But you get that immediately. So if you've got an interview coming up, it's not like you're waiting for the book and the whole package to get to you. It usually comes within a week in the US, and then it could be a little longer, anywhere between 5 and 20 work days, depending on where you live in the world. But it's a great source, and I really hope you grab it or gift it to somebody. See, Bianca was a recruiter, and she knows that she scanned them. I love that. Sherry, how are you? I freelanced in print journalism for a while, but left. I'm interested in returning to journalism, but in broadcasting. What should I put on my resume? I've been a teaching assistant for years. Just your resume. Chronologically go with it. In your cover letters, just say, I love journalism and I'm returning to it. You could even put that in your career profile. Returning to journalism after, performing teaching assistant roles between for X years, or however you want to lay that down. Carla Marino, thank you, Andy. You're very, very helpful. Just chanced upon your videos 30 minutes ago. Carla! Great to have you, my dear. Hopefully you're still here. 8:23. Oh, I'm guessing you are. I'm trying to get through everything. Steve G, best ever. Melissa, I have a technical on-site interview with a company for customer support role. I have a lot of technical skills, but don't claim expertise in any particular area. Should I make a list? Melissa, always have the list. Always have that in your back pocket, so you know what to run through mentally. All right, Vanessa, to all the first timers, yes, order the book. She's a boot camper. Yes, K Nix, good morning. Carla Marino, I got it. 1 hour, 26 minutes, 35 seconds. All right, folks, you guys all have a great day. I'm calling Michael McDevitt to give him some good Andy vibes and some juju to make sure he aces his interview tomorrow. All my boot campers, all my leaders, all the people in the Mile Walk Academy, all my I-teamers, everybody who shows up for me every week, I love you all. Everybody in the community, you make my life worth living. I'll see you Thursday, 11 Central, noon Eastern. And if you want to get in the boot camp, email us at support@milewalk.com. We'll give you $100 off. If you can't swing the boot camp and you want this budget package, we can get you all the resume stuff and the interviewing stuff for like $1.50, like $150 or something like that. It's like it's a steal. So let me know. Support@milewalk.com. Any questions? Support@milewalk.com. Otherwise, I'll see you Thursday. You guys be cool. Thanks. Mom, love you. Peter Torres, have a great one. Steve, love you too, brother. Everybody, have a great day.